Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and in this episode, I've got another new batch of arrivals in here. So we're going to do another quarantine haul with showing off some of the stuff I've gotten in from eBay. And this big pile here includes everyone's favorite, the comic that was stuffed into a mailbox with no backing board and bent in half. So that's really exciting. I'm pretty sure I know what that is, and there's no better way to treat a 60-year-old comic book than to just fold it in half like a slice of New York pizza and jam it into a frickin' mailbox. Okay, but that's fine. That's fine. We have methods of fixing these things unless they're completely ruined, and I don't think it is. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to unpack all this stuff so you don't have to watch that boring part, and then we're going to show off the comics. Okay, I got the first ones open here. I also have my window open, even though it's letting in a bunch of light and the sound of machinery, because I've got to keep the window open. I want to get through this as fast as I can. I got this first lot that I opened. I actually got a really good deal on it. It was 4 romance comics from the 50s for just $17. So I only paid about $4.25 each for these. And a couple they're low grade, but it includes Young Romance number 87 and Young Romance number 89. This is cover dated August, September 1957, April, May 1957. So really excited to get these. Also, A Girl's Romance is 44 from DC. Again, another 50s book. And the real issue here is this Secret Hearts. I don't know what issue it is. The top of it's ripped off. It smells like living death, like the funk, the must, the just like decaying paper smell off of this is so bad. Got the window open. I'm going to make one of the rare decisions and not to even keep this in my collection. I'm going to find somewhere to stow it for now so it doesn't give me some sort of lung disease. And it's going to be a throw-in with something when I sell or give away some. I think the book's complete, but I just can't. I just can't with this. The Girl's Romance 44 also has a bit of funk. I've switched bags. I actually double bagged this one, but it's still so bad. So this one I think I can keep. I'm gonna have to do some research on how to get rid of that smell. I think there's something you can do is set it in a pile of mothballs or like something. But oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm really excited about the Young Romance. Got a good deal on those. I'm okay with this one. I think I can fix it. We're just gonna treat this as a complete loss and just get rid of it. Okay, I took that Secret Hearts and I double bagged it, and then I brought it down to the bulkhead and threw it inside a giant dresser. I needed to get it out as far away from here as possible. I'm still airing the room out, as you can see, and I also double bagged all the other ones just to make sure. The other ones also, are having that bad paper smell, but not nearly as bad as that one. So hopefully the double bagging with these will be enough. I'm still going to look into what to do to get rid of it. So as long as it can take a while to recover. You never know what you're going to get when you get some new comics off of eBay. So let's keep going with the rest of the cool arrivals here. We got Girls Love Stories number 84. So you can see it's got some issues. This was advertised as a fair, so that would be like a 1.5 or a 1. I think that's a little too harsh. So I paid $6.30 for this. That includes shipping. And I'm pretty happy with it. Basically, it has, you can see here on the back, it's got water damage. Basically, this top corner got wet. That resulted in this part of the front cover coming off as well. But other than that, it actually seems like it's pretty decent. It does have, the water staining on it. But as we've just seen, you can do much worse. So for $6, I think I'm happy to have it. And in general, I don't stains don't bother me as much as they do a lot of collectors. I know on a grading scale, staining gets really hammered. But it doesn't necessarily bother me that much. It depends on how much of the water damage is through the book. And if their staples are rusty, those are much more important to me. But a little bit of staining on the cover doesn't really bother me, so it's fine. Next book, I had to keep the packing material. Is great. It's someone's old dividers. This one says Christ, Son of Infinite Earths. This one says Vigilante. I can see why they use this one. But sandwiched in between these, it's Patsy Walker number 115. I'm pretty excited to get this one. A dramatic book-length triumph for Patsy. Don't dare miss. Goodbye to Buzz, the start of the new Patsy Walker series. So I've already showed you 116, which is the What Happens After Graduation cover. This all starts, I think, in Patsy and Hetty 95, which I still don't have. But in the last video, I showed you some of the other Patsy Walkers I'm trying to get. This is the beginning of a big storyline. Spoilers, Buzz is joining the army. And so this is, I already have 114, but 114 I think takes place before the switch from teen humor to pure soap opera. So I'm really excited to get this because this does give me that complete run of books. So now I've got Patsy Walker 114 to 124, which is the last issue. And I just have to finish filling in my Patsy and Hetty run. I've got about half of the issues that I need from that. That runs from 95 to 110. So there's 16 issues in that run, as opposed to 11 in this one. So, yeah, I've still got like 6 of those that I need to track down, 6 or 7. But I'm getting there, and then, as I've mentioned before, once I finish that, I'm definitely going to do a video about the whole run. So excited to get this, and actually it's in decent shape. Lower grade, but very solid and clean, unlike the train wreck we just had a second ago. So, and this is a bonus. I love it. I love this sort of thing. And then I've got a whole big lot. It's very exciting because it's a lot of Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. Here we are. This is issue number 27, where we have Conehead Lois. I'm getting a lot of glare here, so I'm trying to... That's not too bad. So we got Conehead Lois here in issue 27. And Bizarro is proposing to her on the cover. I got a big run of Lois Lane, several issues that I needed from someone on the CGC forums. I prefer to buy from the CGC forums as opposed to eBay for a lot of reasons. The prices are usually better because they don't have to deal with the eBay fees, but also the stuff that you see on there is just like... There have been sales threads on there where I just watch because I just want to see the comics. You see people... I've seen sales threads on the CGC forums that include like everything you could think of, including like Detective 27. So it's fantastic, but you can get a lot of much less expensive deals. These Lois Lane issues, I got a small pile of them here, and most of them were $10 or $12 each. So here's issue 27. Here's issue 29. This is one of the most famous of the earlier covers because it's got the superheroes here and they're in a line waiting their turn to kiss Lois Lane. I'm also a big Green Arrow fan. I think he's tremendously boring before he got revamped in Brave and the Bold 85, but I'm excited to get this. We got issue 33, Ghost Lois. 35, one of this era was just obsessed with this stuff with Lana Lang and Lois competing to see who Superman would actually marry. Um, I'm a huge fan of Lois Lane as a character, and I do find these stories to be um, funny in sort of a campy way. But this is definitely not my favorite era of Lois Lane. I like the later ones a lot better. 41 and 42. So at this point now, I have I'm still missing issue 47. 47 is a little more expensive than some of the others because it's got like a Legion of Superheroes story in it where Lois gets superpowers. Once I get that, I'll have at least 41 and up. I've got most of the issues in the 30s now as well. So I'm starting to get down there. Still have a ways to go, and of course I don't have the big expensive issues at the beginning of the run. I don't have the showcase issues, but I'm really excited to get these. The person I bought these from was really nice and threw in some extra comics for free. Here is actually a quite nice copy of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 110. It's actually in a really nice shape, except it does have tape over the staple. You see this from books of this period, like preventative tape, where there was no reason to add the tape, but the kid reading it wanted to make sure that they didn't develop a problem with the staple, so they just taped the spine. In this case, it's not the whole spine, it's just this one little bit. Otherwise, it's in really nice shape. She also threw in a more beat up Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 116, which has a gorilla cover where Jimmy Olsen has switched brains with a gorilla. Some might argue, how can you even tell the difference? But DC loves their gorilla covers. And also, it's a World's Finest 307 with a nice little note here saying thanks, a little heart. So, you're welcome. Okay, new day. A couple more packages came in today. More interesting packaging. Not quite as cool as those old dividers, but I got this unmarked envelope. It's actually packed well because this was the only thing inside a gigantic cardboard box, so there's very well protected. Inside is just a loose comic, no bag or board, but this is a copy of Love Diary number 56, and I just really love the cover on this, which is why I bought it. It's by a very young Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. It's dated 1967. So this is right at the beginning of his comics career. I just really love the drama here, particularly with the black sky over the church and someone's wedding day. The guy's like, Ruthie, wait, I wanted to tell you. And she's like, don't try to stop me now, Art. It's because of you I can't marry him. But yeah, just the composition, the dramatic sky over the church, and you can't go wrong with Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. So I'm excited to get this. It is a solid mid-grade book. It's probably technically only like a 5.5 at best. It's got some dust shadow here. Charltons are notorious for really poor paper quality. They printed on the absolute cheapest, crappiest paper they could possibly find, so it's very, very common to have bad page quality, a lot of tanning. If you have something like Just Married 102, for instance, has an awesome white cover, it's almost impossible to find it actually white. It's always faded. So I'm excited to get this. The other book that arrived today came inside an envelope between all the packing material here, and this one is Patsy and Hetty, number 98. I paid a few dollars for this. They very nicely left it in the original bag that has a $1 price sticker on there, I guess just to rub in the fact that I paid more than $1. I don't know. Whenever I sell something, I always take the price tags off for that exact reason. It's lower grade. It's got a lot of wrinkling, and it actually feels like the cover might be detached. Detached to the top staple. Comic is flabby. So, yeah, it was bent in half for a long time, and so it's got interior creases. Looks like the centerfold had been sort of accidentally bent in half and might have gotten even wet. So, luckily I didn't pay very much for it, just a few dollars. $1 would have been even better, but it's complete, and it's another issue off the list to get the complete run of the Patsy Walker and Patsy and Hetty, starting with issue 95. So, yeah, and you can't go wrong paying a couple dollars for a Marvel from this period. All right, next day we've got 2 packages today. I'm pretty irritated with the post office today, and normally our post office people are really good here, and this isn't like me trashing the postal system because, you know, everyone's working hard, whatever. But today I'm pretty aggravated. I got 2 comics today that came separately. One of them came in this. It's a comic. There's no like extra cardboard in it, but it's in a larger mailer and it says "Do not bend." This arrived fine, and the postman walked it over and set it on the steps in front of our house because we have a small mailbox. This wouldn't fit in, so they came and they delivered it directly to the door, which is how I prefer it. The other one, on the other hand, the one that says "Fragile, handle with care," instead of walking it over and setting it on the steps when they did this one, they folded it in half and jammed it into the mailbox. Now, again, this is the one that actually says to handle with care. You can see here it's got a hole punched in it. Clearly, it caught on something. It was dragged under a tire. I can feel that it caught on the bag and the board and ripped the bag, the comic bag inside. So I'm pretty irritated because if you're gonna take all the time and effort to walk this over and hand deliver it, why then destroy this one by jamming it into the box when you could have just set them on top of each other and set them both down on my steps, and then this one would be fine. Little rant, okay. It doesn't look too bad. I saw the notification this was delivered only about 15 minutes ago, so I was able to get out to it before it was completely ruined. It's got a backing board in it, so I think this is the case where I can probably flatten it out, but there's just no reason for it. The other thing is, one of these has a key in it. The other one, I have no idea what it is. It's a romance book of some kind. So I'm hoping that the key is in this one, because I know the key was delivered today. When I checked the tracking numbers, only 1 book was supposed to be delivered today. Obviously, a second one showed up, so I'm hoping this is the key book, but since this one actually has a tracking number on it, I'm guessing this is the key. So let's open them up and find out. Just do it right here on camera because this is easy enough to do. And inside this one, it is. Ooh, I was not expecting to get this today. It's Teenage Romance number 85. This was an impulse purchase. One of these ones where I've been doing this a bit recently with these Atlas books where I see an Atlas romance and I think to myself, that's going a little bit cheaper than it should. I'll throw a bid on it. And then I end up winning it, and as soon as I do, I'm like, but I don't collect Atlas romance. Why did I just do that? You get in this eBay mentality where you see deals and then you buy them. So now I've got 3 Atlas books that I've bought in the last month, and I don't collect Atlas. So I do dig the Atlas books. This is a later era. It's right towards the end of this run, and it's Kirby, and I got a fair deal on it. It's a lower grade. It's got some spine roll that maybe could be fixed. It presents really well though, and these issues are not easy to find. So I'll keep it for a while. I probably will end up selling off some of these Atlas books that I bought to pay for the books that I actually was intending to get. Unfortunately, that means that the book that was bent in half is the key that we were waiting for today, so that's pretty frustrating. I think I paid... I got a really good deal on this, a really good deal. It's a book that is probably worth twice as much as I paid for it. Here it is, and you can't actually see it. You can see here the damage that was done when it was poked the hole in it, but luckily the person that sent it did double back it both sides of the book. So here it is. It's Love, 1970. It doesn't look too bad. It looks like I was able to get the book out before any extra damage was done to it. There is a little bit of a ding on the spine, and it's hard to tell whether that was already there or whether it happened with this, because it is right in about that area. So it's possible that that damage is from the post office. But the book is a lower mid-grade. It's like a 4.5. It might be a 5. It would definitely be a little bit higher, except for it's got some foxing. Still, it's not that easy a book to find. I paid $24 for this. That includes shipping. I was really excited to get it at that price. I think it's a book in this condition that's probably $40 would be a good price for it. You can pay up to $50 for it. It's not quite as desirable as Love 1971, which is harder to find and has an even better cover, but this still has a really cool Nick Cardy cover. This is one of the key Bronze Age romance books that I was missing. I'm down to just a handful of the key Bronze Age romance books. There's really like 3 sort of higher end books that I don't have yet from the Bronze Age. Once I get those socked away, you know, I'll finish filling in the rest of my Bronze Age issues, and then it'll be just onto the Silver Age, and I can just watch my life savings dwindle and shrink. But yeah, I'm frustrated with the post office. I do wish the shipper had put in a little more backing. When I ship out books, I put in some really thick cardboard to prevent this sort of thing. But I can't really blame them. They did have the giant sticker saying "Fragile Handled with Care," and despite that, the post office ran over it with a mulcher. But here it is, Love in 1970. Glad to get in my collection. I'm also glad it wasn't, you know, horrifically destroyed. It was only, you know, mildly ravaged. So I think that's it for this haul. I've got another one coming soon. I've got a big purchase coming with a big Grail book. The funny thing is, it's someone else's Grail. It's actually a book that I don't care about that much, but as a completist, I needed to get it. I'll talk all about that when it arrives. I have no idea what condition it's in because the pictures are blurry. It's in a lot, so I was able to get a really good deal because the eBay people didn't advertise it as being having that key in it. So it went under the radar. I got a really good deal on it, assuming it's in any kind of decent condition, and there's no way to know. So this is going to be a real unboxing on the next video, because it's got a big ticket Grail and no idea what condition it's in. I don't even know if it's complete, so I'm just crossing my fingers that that could go any direction. So for now, we can look forward to that, and for now, though, thanks for watching.